Right, so welcome to Worthing Watersports. Quite excited to do some new videos. It's been a long time, had a big break over Christmas. So I'm here with
Alex.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about your job?
Sure. Hi, Sam. Thanks thanks for having me here. I'm Alex. I'm product manager for foils at Boats and More. That means for Duotone. I worked there since 2022. Before that, I studied material science and engineering. I worked afterwards for 5 years in research and development for ceramics matrix composites.
Yeah.
And due to the fact that they are not fundamentally different to normal composites, like we have them in our foils or also in the boards.
Yeah.
It was pretty close to go in this direction. Because I also have a bit of a water sports background. I kite since 2006, started about 4 years ago with winging, and then the job fits perfectly. So I'm happy to be involved now more into products. Before that, I did more material science only on sample sheets, and now I have products which I can work with to improve all the quality. Check the layups together with another guy, and it's super exciting to work together also with all these guys in the water sports scene.
Yeah, you've actually got my dream job, this design in water sports. So what sports do you do at the moment? You say you pump foil? Is that what you do?
Yeah, I started...
Based in Munich, aren't you? So
I'm based in Munich and a bit in Nuremberg. That about a 2 hours drive.
Yeah.
So I go mainly pump foiling in the surrounding of Nuremberg. We have there a nice pier where we can start from.
Yeah.
I started, I think, about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Started with a 2145, which if it covers.
Yeah.
At that date, it was the Glide, now it's the Amp.
Yeah.
It helped me a lot. Also with the Strider. To start to go into it.
The carbon board.
Yeah. And then I also used the smaller amp, and now it's also possible to jump on other foils.
Do you find pipe foiling is a good one as a designer? Because I guess it's quite sensitive to foils. Like, it's all about the foil, isn't it? You're not using wind, you're not using a wave, you're not using a paddle or a motor.
Yeah, it's perhaps I have to clarify regarding the designs. We are working in a team together.
Yeah.
We are mainly in the core R&D team 3 persons. That's Jerome, who sits on Mauritius, who does more or less the design itself. Yeah.
Is it the shape?
Yeah, that's the shape. And then we have Leopold, who's working for an engineering office also in Munich. He's doing all the profile simulations and checks how low the drag is, lift to drag ratio and something like that.
Yeah.
And then me, who looks that the complete range fits together, and we are ending up in endless discussions, more or less, about what we could change and do. And for sure, we also have Klaas and Craig, who are well known in the scene, more or less, who also do a lot of testing and also discuss with us about what the market needs. From the sales perspective, from the product perspective, and that interacts really good.
Yeah. Do you generally design on the computer first, or do you have original prototype, or do you go from the old foil and then make tweaks off that?
Depends a little bit. When we make an update, for sure, we take the format model as a basis. But it could also happen that we need something for a new discipline. For example, for the pump foil, when it showed up, there was more or less nothing where we can base it on. And then we debrief what we can do and which profile would be good. For example, if you compare the pump foil with a downwind race foil, it's completely different.
Yeah.
And the profile affects the speed range where you can use it. With the pump foil, you will not go above, I would say, 12, perhaps 15 knots. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And it should work at low speeds that you can go super slow, especially at the beginning. For sure, it should be should give you the ability to also accelerate it, have fun on it. But yeah, it's a different speed range compared to a hyperglide, for example, which needs to run on races. For example, we designed the hyperglide together with, because all our foil development is influenced by different team riders also. And we have the Spencers who also design the boards. Yeah. And the hyperglide, for example, was designed pretty closely together with them because they needed something for these M2O race. And so we need a different speed range, and for that we adjust every profile depending on the discipline where this foil should sit. Same.
Yeah. See, to me, I have an idea, the pump foil design wouldn't be too dissimilar to a downwind foil, but you said it needs to be completely different. Yeah. To me, they both need to have good glide, be able to be pumped, and travel long distances without much effort. But you said they're very different. They are the main difference between the.
On the first looks, they look similar because they are super high aspect. Yeah. And both are not used to turn super well. No. But the speed range is completely different. Yeah. For example, when you would produce a hyperglide in the size of an amp, for example, you still would have to run super fast.
The hyperglides are quite small, don't they, compared to the amp? The hyperglides are quite small.
Yeah, they are 680 and 880.
Tiny. Yeah.
Yeah. But you could for sure also make them in the size like an amp. Yeah. And then you would end up in a span about 2 meters. Yeah. That would be more or less non-maneuverable. Yeah. And you would have a profile which only works in higher speeds, more or less. So it's not stall friendly. Yeah. So you could not really use it for that. Yeah. So yeah, that's also it's a funny point. You often hear from guys, oh look, this looks like a foil from this company, but when you know what's behind it, it's normally completely different because it's not only about the shape, it's also about the curvature and the profile. Yeah. And these 3 points together gives you a foil for a special discipline. And even when a foil looks similar to another brand or something like that, they can behave completely different. Yeah. So it's hard to vote on only the vision of board or the optics. Yeah.
Boards look very similar. Sails look very similar. Yeah. Paddles look very similar, but we all know that they're very different. So cool. Okay. Well, let's get into the design of the specific product we're going to talk about. Yeah, that's great.